Professor Wigglebee here, and here is a sneaky question. When governments slap tariffs on imports, who actually pays the bill? The answer loves plot twists. In just a few minutes, this video unpacks tariffs, prices, winners, losers, and why the obvious answer sometimes face plants into a pie. We poke at the good, the bad, and the awkwardly expensive with clear examples, honest trade-offs, and just enough silliness to keep the economics from wearing a grey suit. No cheering section, no doom trumpet, just a fair look at both sides, so let's take a closer look. Here is the first twist in the story. The tariff bill usually lands first on the importer, the company that brings the goods across the border. Customs collects that payment during entry, so the tax does not arrive as a dramatic invoice shoved straight into a foreign factory owner's face. The tariff does not stay politely at the border. It often trickles into shop prices, which means the shopper starts carrying part of the load. Businesses may split the pain or hide a bit of it in their margins, but plenty of the sting still sneaks into the final price tag. Who pays in the end? Often everybody grabs a corner of the sofa. Consumers pay more, importers accept smaller profits, retailers trim margins, and foreign exporters sometimes cut prices to stay competitive. The split depends on bargaining power, competition, and how badly each side wants the sale. If buyers have few alternatives, tariffs pass through more easily into prices. If sellers fear losing customers, they absorb more themselves. Contracts, exchange rates, and competition all matter. A tariff acts less like a simple switch and more like a messy dinner bill where everybody argues over the leftovers. Supporters like tariffs because they can give domestic industries breathing room. If cheap imports flood the market, a tariff can help local factories compete and protect some jobs. Think of it as a temporary shield, not a miracle cape. The protected industry still needs to improve, invest, and stay productive. Another pro-tariff argument says some goods matter too much to rely on fragile overseas supply. Supporters say tariffs can encourage domestic production, collect revenue, and strengthen a country's hand in trade disputes. That logic sounds strongest when the product is strategic, not when it is just fancy socks. Critics point to the obvious ouch: higher prices. When tariffs hit everyday goods or parts used by businesses, households and companies pay more. That squeezes budgets, pushes costs through supply chains, and makes inflation feel like an uninvited dinner guest who raids the fridge and critiques the curtains. Tariffs can trigger retaliation, and retaliation does not arrive carrying flowers. Foreign countries may tax exports in return, which hurts domestic farmers and manufacturers trying to sell abroad. At home, shoppers can face fewer options too. Less competition sometimes means less innovation, more comfort, and more complacent chair swivelling. So who really pays? The honest answer is, it depends. In many cases, domestic importers and consumers carry much of the load, but foreign producers sometimes absorb part through lower prices. The final split changes with competition, contracts, exchange rates, and how easy the product is to replace. Tariffs are neither pure hero nor pure villain. They can protect strategic industries and create leverage, yet they can also raise prices and trigger retaliation. The smartest takeaway is not slogan versus slogan. Ask who pays first, who passes costs onward, and whether the benefits justify the bill. So here is the roundup. Tariffs usually start with importers, often spread to shoppers through higher prices, sometimes squeeze foreign exporters, and occasionally help local industries or strategic goals. The static image on the television screen sums it up nicely. Every policy creates winners, losers, and a bill nobody enjoys. I hope this gave the topic a fair shake and stirred a few useful thoughts. If you enjoyed it, tap like so more curious explainers rise to the surface. If another topic keeps poking your brain, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Before you go, at the top left here is my most recent video. Bottom left is what YouTube says matches your viewing history. Bottom right is a playlist of all my videos. And finally, top right is the subscribe icon. Bye again.